What is it is going, sir. It is going. My cat says it's going. My cat's also sniffing some of the cords over there, so not too happy about that though. What are you,
Yeah, you know what's
what
about
are
to
you
happen
doing?
next.
Go away. Later. We'll play with you later. I promise. Oh, dude, she likes her bacon.
Doing good. Got off work, made it home on time, and another day of happiness on the job. Yeah, we survived.
Thank God. Okay, let me try that again. Malachi 36. I am here. Flash. I just introduced. It's the 9 Ball on Gravity Mark II. Thank you, Mildewy Carrot, for jumping inside the chat, letting us know that I was still muted. You should be able to hear me now. Yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes those happen. Sometimes those happen, and you just gotta roll with the punches. But yep, we had 9 Ball corner pocket, and we have Gravity Mark anti-gravity. Today we have not necessarily gaming news as it is next gen experiences. All right. As everyone knows, that's in the gaming community, last Tuesday, Xbox Series S and X had launched. Last Thursday, PS5 had launched. A plethora of different games came out. We have a lot to discuss. Gravity, take it away, man. How are you liking your Xbox Series S, as in Sam?
To put it frank, I'm really enjoying it so far. This has been my first experience with Xbox since the 360, and at the very least, as somebody who hasn't been in that ecosystem since then, it's pretty nice. The UI is honestly very simple to understand. There's not a whole lot going on with it, which on one hand you can argue that that's kind of not there's not enough in there. I think there's definitely more in terms of the UI with what PlayStation has to offer, but at the very least with the Series S, it definitely seems like that very simple gaming box. It just seems like that very simple, let's just game. We're not trying to be serious here. It's it's the box. It's gonna do its job. It's gonna do it well, and you don't have to burn a hole in your pocket or break the bank to actually afford it.
Right. Okay. What games have you been playing on it?
I have been playing a few games. First and foremost, I've been playing Final Fantasy 15, which is the Royal Edition. I wanted to get a hold of kind of a nicer looking game to see what that looks like. It honestly, and this is I think just my opinion. I think it looks a little dated now. Like it still looks really pretty, but compared to some of the more recent titles, like if you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, if you look at Ghost of Tsushima, you can definitely tell. And even with some of the other updates with Final Fantasy 14, it seems.
Yeah.
It looks really pretty. But I've been playing Final Fantasy 15 mostly. Abs and I have both tried out Apex just to try to see how that runs. That actually runs at no less than 59 frames per second.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear.
It is a very smooth experience. It looks very pretty. And at the very least, as somebody like for me, like when I had my 360, it was the height of Modern Warfare 2. So whenever I hold the Xbox controller, I immediately think first-person shooters. Mm-hmm. And so, like, as soon as I was holding it, I'm just like, you know what? For whatever reason, like, this just seems right. Like, it just seems right for first-person shooters. What was that?
I was about to say, you probably can feel the difference, too, especially on Apex, when you go up to, like, 60 and stuff frames per second in a shooter.
Yeah, it was night and day because I was actually testing before I got my hands on it. I was testing it on my PlayStation 4, and I have the Slim version, so do keep that in mind. My PlayStation 4 Slim was running at anywhere between 38 FPS and like maybe 55. So like it would vary between there, and it just did not feel as buttery smooth as this does. I will say, if I have to boil my experience down for this game or this console, just boiling it down to the simplest things I can describe, it would be that this console plays games, I think, the way that they were meant to for their time.
Okay.
So it's nothing spectacular. Like, especially when you see the PlayStation 5 and you look at the Xbox Series X, you're seeing a bunch of 4K, you're seeing all of these, high graphics. And while some of those games do run a little better, you're going to be feeling more you're going to be feeling more processing power when it comes to loading screens, because I have only experienced loading screens of maybe 5 seconds to 12 seconds max. And that's like fast traveling, that's loading up a game, that's anything. So it's only like 5 to 12 seconds really. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been so conditioned to grab my phone anytime a loading screen comes up. Like, if I'm fast traveling, if I'm loading in a new stage, I just immediately grab my phone and I'm just like, all right, it's gonna be a while. And like
go get that bottle of water out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean your Ray's energy?
Mm-hmm. As soon as I go to put my hand on my phone, it's already booted up, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I guess we're jumping in. This is great. Like, the games look a lot smoother. They feel a lot smoother. They, in terms of like visuals, they basically look the same. It just looks a lot smoother, and it doesn't look as choppy. And the loading times are so much better. Other than that, it looks like what this past generation it was supposed to look like, and for that I'm okay, because it's only $300, and really, like, especially for some of the games in this last generation, they didn't look bad. They didn't look terrible. You don't need them to look like they're in 4K, and especially if you're just dipping your toes into this ecosystem, it's a really good way to actually get in, as kind of like a starter way to get into that ecosystem.
Nice.
Have you tried out the quick resume?
I have. I didn't mean to, actually. I accidentally figured it out. What I ended up doing was, I was actually in the middle of playing Final Fantasy 15. I saved my game, and I didn't close the game. I just was in the game, and I just turned the console off, which with the PlayStation 4, that would have closed the game.
Right.
But I just turned the console off, and I noticed over the course of like the next day, like the fan was still a little warm, and I was like, oh, okay, like, is it just kind of in some sort of like rest mode kind of state? And so as soon as you turn it back on, it was like, oh, hey, who's signing back in? Like, oh, thanks, Gravity, welcome back. And then it immediately just pulls up your game, like exactly from where you left off. Same with if you were going to switch. So I was actually playing some Final Fantasy 15 this morning, and I had Abs come out and test out Apex to see what she thought of it. And when I did that, all I did was I paused the game, kept it running, just opened up Apex, had her play Apex, and once she was done, I closed that, pulled up Final Fantasy, and it picked up exactly where I left off.
So now that you're in, quick side note, now that you're inside the Final Fantasy 15 realm, after you get done with that, we need to link up on some comrades. We need to link up on some comrades, because I want to play. I've been wanting to play that for a long time. It's multiplayer. Very excited now that you're getting into that. And for anyone that is trying to get inside the Final Fantasy 15 realm, it would be helpful if you watch the movie first, which is Kingsglaive, and then that segues into Final Fantasy 15, the game. And then there's also an anime portion of it, which is called Brotherhood. So there's Brotherhood, there's Kingsglaive, and then there's the actual game. The game itself, I love the game. I just wish it wasn't that short. That was my take on it. As far as how much gameplay is in it, there's a ton, but a majority of it is going to be like side quest stuff, dungeon type stuff. It's not the actual base game. The base game itself, you could probably beat in 20 hours. you know. So that was my only critique with that. Yeah, so yeah, definitely good to hear about that on the quick resume. Definitely glad that again that it's making the current gen games run a little bit smoother as it seems. How you liking? This is kind of skipping a few steps inside the dock here, but how you liking the controller?
The controller. Hi, Cat. Thanks for bumping. The controllers. it's interesting. It's definitely bigger than the PlayStation 4 controller for sure. It still has that same Xbox style, which is totally fine. I just haven't held one of those controllers in so long, and to be completely honest, like as soon as it's in your hand, it almost feels like it just fits very well, and it feels like everything just fits right where it's supposed to go, except for the bumpers. Like it just like your fingers just naturally wrap around the triggers, which is perfect. That's what you need for those first person shooters. Like the sticks are in very good access points. The sticks are actually like concave, like right in the middle, with kind of like a thicker with kind of like a thick lip around the top of it, so that way you can grip it. And then around the outside of it is actually textured. So that way if you're pushing on the side, you have some texture there that you can actually latch onto a little bit. So I actually really like the sticks. It's just the bumpers. Like you either have to like completely like switch where your hands are on the controller, which completely switches the location for everything else. And if you're gonna use the triggers normally, like if I'm just holding it the way I'm holding it, I almost have to tap it with like this part of my index finger, just because it wraps around so much, which isn't like that big of a deal. And especially since I've been playing PlayStation for the past 3-4 years, like it's like I'm not going to complain about it. You know, it's definitely a comfortable controller. The back of it's pretty textured. Yeah, the back of it is actually a little bit more coarse than the PlayStation 5's controller, which I actually kind of like. I kind of like to be able to confidently be able to hold my controller and know it's not going to go anywhere. So I do like that a lot. I was actually just joking with Nineball about this right before we got on there. But one thing that I'm still finding really funny, they don't want to let these double A's die.
Yeah.
they just don't want to let them die. And I don't want to hate on them. You know, like that's totally fine if you wanna keep those double A's going as kind of a backup measure. Like that's fine. Like go for it. You be you. Microsoft, you be you and keep those double A's. I just hope that you just at this point you're stuck with it. Like it would like if 5 consoles down the line, I better still be seeing those double A's. like when we see like the Xbox like 20 million down the road, I want to see those double A's still in that controller. You've already committed yourself to it. You're stuck with it. Like you can't get rid of it.
There should have been some sort of like, yeah, here's some double A if you want to go this way, but here's also a charge pack or something, but that's a separate charge.
If they would have included like a charge pack in there, that would have been really nice. Like it does have a Type-C port up top, which I'm assuming you can use for charging, but I don't really know like what it would be for, other than just connecting it to like hard plugging it into
the
console or into a PC.
The Xbox One has a similar thing like that too, where it has a I don't know if it's a Type-C. I have to go get mine. It's downstairs still, but it has like a cord at the top where you can plug up, because it also has like they have the AA batteries, but you have to buy the charge pack separately. I don't know why they won't. I mean, we'll probably be like you said, Xbox 20 million. We'd be like at Fusion packs or something. They'd be still giving away Duracell. Mom, what's this?
There you go.
You know, at least they included it in the package, though. Like I'm just glad like you just didn't get that big old Xbox and then you see the little sticker on the side that says batteries not included.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, oh!
Like we're 2020 already, Grandma.
You go upstairs, your remote controller missing the batteries.
There you go.
I'm just glad I bought like a big pack of like 48 AA like a month or so ago before this. like my cat's laser toy went out, and I was just like, you know what? I need to buy you more double A's so I can like keep you entertained. And then I'm just like, oh, look at that! I just have a big old box like this big. If I need more double A's, I'm set.
There you go. There you go. So that's the experience that you have with Series S, which is great. Sounds good. Definitely looking forward to more gaming content that you have with that. And I'm also kind of curious to see how that's going to play whenever we play these Xbox Game Pass games together. You on the Series S, while me and Nineball and Mildewy Carrot are on our Game Pass systems. As long as we all have the Game Pass subscription, of course. Over the weekend, you and Mildewy Carrot in the chat, you guys had came over and we had a little bit of experience on the PS5. Before I give my take on that, what is your guys' take on the PS5 experience that you did have? It wasn't for like very long, but still, what was your experience with the PS5?
I would say first of all, I want to give my first initial reaction, because my first response to seeing the PlayStation 5 was, holy crap, that is a beefy boy.
Yep.
Like, that is a big boy. Like, the Series S is like maybe like that big. It's only about that. Like, it is a very compact little brick of a system. The PlayStation 5 is like this big. It's enormous. Like, you just laying it down was like that tall. It was a big boy. Like, I was not. Yeah, look at this. I was not prepared for how big that thing was.
One big Oreo.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that is that. And this is the PS4 down here. I don't know how well you guys can actually see this, but the PS4 is down there, and the PS5 is up there. It is literally it's ridiculous. Mildewy Carrot typed in and said it's a sexy beast. It is very beautiful, but it is magnificently huge. It is ridiculously huge. Let me fix this bad boy now.
It is a big console. I will say, this was my first experience also getting a chance to see what those teeny little X's, O's, squares, and triangles look like on the back of the controller. They are tiny.
Yeah, they are.
Like, I was expecting them to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more obvious, but they were a lot more subtle. They were a lot more low-key, and it was really something that you'd only see if you're really just paying attention, where you're like either just hyper-analyzing the controller, or you're just really bored and you're just like, what's all with this? Like, it was really nice. The DualSense triggers were a lot more interesting than I thought they'd be. Like, one thing I will say about the DualSense that I was really nervous about was I was afraid we were going to have a Vita situation all over again. Like, I was afraid we were going to have a Vita situation where they create this very interesting device for gaming, but they end up only using it like for like a few games. Developers just kind of look at it and they're just like, ugh, like, I don't want to like a touchpad on the front and the back. What am I going to do with that?
Right.
You know, like, my biggest fear was that they weren't going to impress developers enough to give them that extra push to be like, hey, like, program this game, but also program this extra stuff for the controller, not just so that way it just shakes every now and then. Like, mess with the triggers so that way you get a little bit of extra resistance.
Yeah.
Shake maybe just one side of the controller but not the other. Maybe create this sensation that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten on those previous controllers. Like just from playing a little bit of Godfall, and I'll let you talk about Godfall, but that was the one that I felt the most out of that dual sense trigger. And it was actually very interesting, like getting it, just being able to feel it just kind of be a little stiff on one attack, and then a lot just very light on another attack. Like it added this extra layer to the game that I wasn't expecting to enjoy.
How did you feel about the haptic feedback? How did that run?
So that was actually something that, well, first, side note, Mildewy Carrot in the comments said, yeah, definitely. Mildewy Carrot inside the comments said Sony made a computer. That's what Mildewy Carrot just said in there. The haptic feedback, I have not yet to try Astro's Playroom. I will first and foremost say that, because Astro's Playroom is where they mess with that the most. I have yet to actually try that out, but apparently that's the way to go, is if you're trying to jump into this game. The haptic feedback, I didn't experience too much of it for the games I was playing. Keeping in mind, I played Godfall, which I did experience some, but not too much. I played Smite, and I did go ahead and play Call of Duty, and I played FIFA. And in FIFA, there's not really a whole lot of vibration there. It's more just aesthetics and the gameplay itself. For Smite, it was interesting because if you're being attacked on the right side, the right portion of your controller vibrates. It's not the whole thing. It's like a particular section, so that way you know where you're being attacked on. If you're being attacked on the left side, same thing. If you're being attacked from behind, it's like the bottom ports of it, but it's weird because it feels like it's behind you. So like it tricks your hands thinking that you're being attacked from behind. And then when you're being attacked up front, they all shake, which is cool. I did notice again, like when I was playing Call of Duty, I would pull down the trigger and it would vibrate on the right side, like it was for Smite. But the trigger didn't do much, but that trigger, apparently, that trigger feature, the haptic feedback and stuff like that, and how it feels different when you're using different guns, is in Cold War. I don't have Cold War. So yeah, so if you have a pistol on Cold War, you hold down the guns, it'll be pop, pop, pop. If you hold it down on a machine gun, you actually feel that brrrr. If it's a rocket launcher, you have to pull a little bit harder because it's a big boom. You know what I mean? So those haptic feedbacks really shine in Cold War. I was thinking that it would be showing inside Warzone, which I did feel the vibration, and I did feel that like, again, that one side of my controller vibrating, but it wasn't nearly the experience that others have had on Cold War, which has been doing really well for that. And I think, I agree. I think that the haptic feedbacks, the DualSense perks, and everything like that, I'm in the same boat as Gravity was. I was just like, I'm a little afraid that this is just going to be something that developers are going to put to the side. Honestly, Astro's Playroom did so well. Spider-Man Miles Morales did so well. Call of Duty Cold War did so well that I don't think that this is just going to be a brush off. I think that is enhancing enough people's experience to be like, okay, this is next gen, and it's going to entice more developers to utilize that feature inside the controller. Is every developer going to do that? I still think not. I don't think so. But I do think, though, that it is enticing more people to utilize it. So, very excited about that. Yeah, the games that I did play, Godfall looks beautiful. One thing that I thought was really cool is that you can choose. You can choose if you want fidelity or if you want performance. So if you want to push for that 4K resolution, then you got that fidelity. If you're trying to go for more of the FPS and all that good stuff, performance-wise, like they give you that option. There's also an option for game recommendations or what the game was intended to be. So it will switch. The system is smart enough to know that if Last of Us is supposed to be more fidelity, but FIFA 21 is supposed to be performance, when you're doing each one, it will switch to that mode, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I transferred all of my data from my PS4, well, all the cloud save data from my PS4 to my PS5, and I didn't have a whole lot cloud saved, but I'm very glad my Ghost of Tsushima transferred over, so I picked up where I left off. That game is immaculate on the PS5. Absolutely, it was already gorgeous. You guys already heard me talk about it. Like, at this very moment, it's game of the year for me above Final Fantasy VII Remake, just because I tried it on the PS5. I'm going to try Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS5 to see if that gets enhanced. And oh man, if that gets enhanced, dude, we are in for a crazy freaking ride for 2021 for both consoles, Xbox Series X and the PS5. I can't believe how wonderful these consoles are right now. I know other people have been having issues There's been a few that said that their Xbox is smoking, which honestly, I know some of that is people blowing vape into their own system.
Yeah, Xbox just released a warning about that. They said, please do not blow vape.
Yeah. No,
see,
it was a phrase that was saying, I can't believe we have to say this, but please don't. Yeah, it was that. And they shouldn't have to say that. You should know it's a $500 system. Why would you blow vape in it? And of course, yeah, people are going to do that for the views. People are going to do that for the likes. It's just the same reason why some people bought the PS5 and just threw it inside of a tub of water. Like, why would you do that? You know, like idiots.
For the views.
That's exactly what it is. So,
I mean,
and then
I'm not gonna judge. I'm just saying I could use that.
Oh, I'm judging. I'm judging. I mean, I'm judging hard.
You know what? If you want to do that, if that's your thing, like I'm gonna buy the newest, most expensive piece of tech out there, and then I'm just gonna drop it.
You're an idiot.
Like I'm gonna drop it off of a building.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
We're doing a drop test. Like if it's a phone, I get the drop test.
Idiot.
But like I don't get why people will like do like laptops. Well, laptops I get too, but like consoles.
I don't get any of that. All that to me.
What happens if we put it in a bathtub?
Idiocracy. Idiocracy. That's what I say for all of that. I don't know why. Why would you just? I don't know. But as far as I have not tried any external or internal hard drive. I'm not messing with that until there's actual confirmation from Sony saying, "Hey, this is compatible with the PS5." And I know some people did that for the PS4, extra storage for the PS4. I'm not even touching that. I have my PS4 right below my PS5. That's good enough for me. I'll just switch from HDMI 1 to HDMI 2. If I have to delete a game, I'll do that because downloading it doesn't take any time. It's like that. It's very fast anyway. So it doesn't. Yeah. So I'm not even going to mess with any of that. And so far, we're a little less than a week away, and my experience with the PS5 has been fantastic. I absolutely love it. The UI on it is a little weird. It is getting a little bit of used to for me. I'm able to navigate a lot quicker than I did when I first had it. There's a few things that I wish were still. I wish that they were still similar on the PS4 on, but again, it's very early for me. I know that they have the switcher mode to where you can switch between games quickly that you just had up. It's not quick resume, so do not get that twisted with quick resume. If you leave a game, if you use the switcher, it will close the game that you were last at, like close it. So when you load it back up, it will load it back up from the start. But I think that is something that is coming soon because of certain features that were taken away. And I say that as far as like on the PS4, if I'm playing FIFA and I want to go on over to Madden, it'll say, hey, if you proceed with this, it will give you a warning saying, hey, it will close your FIFA game. And then I would say, are you sure? Yes or no. On PS5, that feature's gone. So I have a strong suspicion that they're about to patch in some sort of equivalent to quick resume that Xbox already figured out. So
It's
probably.
Yeah, that's
the way the solid states work. It should be that hard. They're basically like massive. It's sort of like you think of them kind of like massive RAM. They don't have any moving parts or anything anymore. So you don't have to worry about like, I don't know if you ever seen like a hard disk, like a classic hard disk where you had like the massive on inside of a normal hard disk, like a platter, and there's like you ever seen a record player?
Yeah.
It's a lot like that, to where you put like a piece in there and then it spins and it's got to touch some parts. And a solid state, it doesn't have that anymore.
Gotcha.
So I can see them easily getting that to work.
Yeah, and it might just be a simple patch later on. Maybe that's something that they didn't want to add too much stuff on because that would increase more issues. Who knows? Who's really to say? But right now they don't have that feature to where it's a quick resume like Xbox has. But I have a feeling that it's something that is coming soon. The party is not nearly as, and I think it's just me getting used to it because they prepped us on the PS4, going inside these groups of parties and stuff. It's not nearly as daunting as it was when it first happened on the PS4. And it's a lot quicker. You don't have to leave the game in order to go to a party or anything like that. And I know that's something that Ohio always wanted for PlayStation. He talks about that all the time. Yeah.
mid-fight match. 'Cause you're mid-match.
Yeah, so so I think so that's the things that feature on the PS5 it has been enhanced. It's been improved. So you don't have to, again, when you press the middle PlayStation button, it doesn't take you back to the main menu to accept this invite. It just pulls up like a little sub menu. Just quickly navigate through that, and again, with how quick it goes, it's like non-existent. It doesn't lag anything, which is great. Another thing I will say that I want to try that I haven't tried. Well, there's two things I want to say. One, for the stream, I tried to stream Godfall, and it took me about an hour and a half. And I'm not sure if this is a feature that maybe there's like a small little glitch or whatever happened. But that entire time I was playing Godfall, the first time I was streaming it, it wouldn't stream what I was playing. I figured at first it's because of the cutscene, or maybe it's because of I'm in the tutorial that they don't want to reveal just yet. I don't know what the scenario was, but that was an hour and a half of me playing it, and it didn't stream anything. However, I was able to record an hour of what I just played and post it as a post on YouTube. So that didn't make sense to me, and that's something I'm going to look more into. So maybe on my next time I jump on Godfall, which will probably be tomorrow, I might just go ahead and stream Godfall and see if it kind of test it out again to see if it lets me actually stream Godfall, or if that's an issue. If that's an issue, that's my first issue that I came across on PlayStation, which is just not allowing me to live stream my PlayStation 5, my one PlayStation 5 game I have. That's that. And then I also want to try out, which I'm going to have to wait till someone else has a PS5, because me and Abs tried this out on the PS4 and PS5. I can't, if she's streaming something, I can't use that picture-in-picture mode to watch her stream. You know what I mean?
I had a suspicion about that.
I kind of did too, but I was just kind of curious. Because
at that point, it almost feels like if you're streaming that, you're broadcasting now two different people, and I don't, maybe that's just too much, horsepower for it. Maybe that's just, which I don't think it would be.
Well, that's the thing. I can do it with another PS5. It's just that option. Okay. Yeah, that option for her is not there, because you could do share play. So I can share play the games, all that good stuff. But then there's another mode that's just not on the PS4 at all, and it's the picture-in-picture. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that picture-in-picture that we can play to get, like, I can watch you play a game while I'm playing that same game or a different game, and I can stream all that together. But I just can't do it because that mode is just not there for her at all.
Yeah, and I guess especially if you're dealing with new console to old console,
right?
That would be understandable unless they would add that feature in some capacity to the PlayStation 4. And at that point, I don't even know if the PlayStation 4 can handle all of that.
And I'm thinking it can't. But at the same time, as much, because this is the first time in a while that I've heard that Sony is going to cater to the PlayStation 4 fan community, which is good, because normally it's just like, all right, we had our time with the PlayStation 1 onto PlayStation 2. We had our time with the PlayStation 2 onto PlayStation 3. That's how they've been operating. This is the first time I've heard them be like, okay, we had the PlayStation 5, yes, but we still want to cater to our PlayStation 4 communities. And they estimated that transition will take about 3 years, 2 to 3 years, for majority of their PlayStation 4 fan base to convert on over to PlayStation 5. Which, honestly... I was about to say, having the PlayStation 5 and knowing that there's only 11 games out of all the PlayStation 4 that I can't bring on over, to me, it's a no-brainer. The only thing I'm curious about is, will I still be able to play Final Fantasy X on my PlayStation 5? Is that going to be a digital upgrade? Again, I'm not one for backwards compatibility. It's a nice feature to have. Obviously, it wasn't a selling point for me to be like, I can't get PlayStation 5 now because I can't play my PS2 games on it. I have one in my living room. But I'm just saying it's a nice feature to have. So that would be my only, all right, I wonder if they're going to bring that over as a digitized version later on. If they don't, I still got my PS4 to play off of. So, but yeah, I'm just those are the only two things. Just this live stream on my PS5, which I'm going to take a look at probably tomorrow, and then the picture-in-picture, which I just got to find another person that has a PS5. So if you guys have a PS5 and want to link up, I know that one of my buddies, Phantom, actually has one. We were actually going to jump on some Godfall on Friday. We just never got to link up. So, but anybody else has a PS5, hit me up inside the comments below, or just shoot me a message on my PSN, which is Malachi36, and we can get it chopping. So yes. Controller. Yeah, we did talk about a little bit of controller, which again, haptics feedbacks are lovely. Very fast. Feels right. It feels right. It feels weird, but it feels right. And I think it feels weird to me just because PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 were all the same practically. PlayStation 4 started switching a little bit. PlayStation 5 started switching even more. But PlayStation 5 feels a lot more heavy duty. Like, I feel like it doesn't feel like if I drop it, it's going to break. It doesn't feel that way. Am I going to drop it? God, no. But I'm just saying, in general, it doesn't feel like it's going to break if I do drop it.
One way to find out.
No, you stop it. You take it back. Take it back. The next setup that we do have is next-gen games. So I have a few that's listed here that I've been hearing a lot about, and I think Nineball has a comment to make on one of them. First one we have is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then we have Bugsnax, Godfall, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Call of Duty Cold War, and there's one more I didn't put on here, The Pathless. What updates have you guys been hearing on that? We're going to start with you, Nineball.
The only one I heard was that Valhalla was having corrupted save issues.
Huh? I haven't heard about that one.
I just heard
enlighten us.
So it's, from what I heard, everyone, you know how you got manual saves and auto saves. Every now and again, I believe they were saying some of the people on auto saves, manual saves, I think on that one was having a corrupted save.
Oh, not the manual ones?
I think it was the manual ones. On Watch Dogs, it's the auto saves, and you can't manual save.
I was gonna say, yeah, like I feel like if there were gonna be any saves that were gonna get corrupted, I kind of would rather it be the autosave. Because like but that manual save is like, that's like a sense of security where you're just like, okay, I know for a fact that this one's gonna be fine.
Right.
You've never played Morrowind, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I lost at level 80 Red Guard to a corrupted save.
Sounds about right.
Oh.
Man.
Well, at least you weren't playing on some sort of permadeath.
Somebody actually was playing on permadeath when it happened. He thought he had died.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
They're looking into it. It happens from time to time. It's been glitches before on saves, but I would much rather have it sort of a manual, because at least a manual, if you find out that happens, I started putting it in 2 to 3 places. From what I heard in Watch Dogs Legion, you can't manually save. It's only auto saves.
Which that one actually has been doing better than I've heard. Well, better than I expected. I thought it was going to get lower ratings than what it did, and of course it came out in October, so there wasn't really a whole lot of genre competitions there. You had sports games that's surrounding it, so there really was a whole lot of competition there. But apparently it did very well starting off. So this is the first thing I'm hearing anything bad about Watch Dogs Legion. Same thing for Valhalla. Go ahead.
Overall, though, they've been doing good. I want to say Valhalla is they said it's one of the fastest selling franchise in the franchise, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And that's also, I was also told as well that for Valhalla, if you get the PS4 version, it's still fun, but the difference in load times, which actually I meant to talk about on the PS5, the difference in load times is astronomically different. Like the PS5 version was running hella faster than the PS4 version. Mildewy Carrot, go ahead and comments in here, says TBF Abyss has Valhalla, and the only issue he had was that every 1 to 2 hours it would randomly crash. Says it's running good now. Other than that, he loves it. That's what, That's what Mildewy Carrot just said. So hopefully, maybe there's a patch or update that Ubisoft went ahead and did. But yeah, I was about to say I've heard nothing but great things about Valhalla overall. And that was on the PS4. That was on the PS4 version. So that's not even next gen. That's just the game itself.
The speed thing I have seen before. I was playing Smite with my niece recently.
One more time.
We was both playing Smite together, and I was playing on the PS4. She was playing on the PC. So what I noticed is when we went to a match, she was in the match about 5 to 10 seconds faster than I was. By the time I got in, like 2 to 3 people had already selected their character. I started looking at her screen. She was pretty much the first person in. It would could instantly select their character, which I'm glad to see that on hopefully on Smite on the PS5. How fast do you load in? Is it like as soon as the countdown's over, you're instantly in?
It's extremely fast. This was the first time, on League of Legends where when you load in, you can select your build, but then you still have to wait for everyone to load in before you can start leaving.
Yeah,
that was the first time I actually experienced that on Smite. I was in the main game. I selected my build. I was trying to walk forward, but I couldn't because I was already there, loaded up and everything, and everyone else was still loading in. So that was a pleasant surprise. I was like, wow, it really is a lot faster on the PS5. Yeah,
it was the difference in SSDs.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was really, really much faster. What's up there, Gravity?
So to chime in on that, when Abs and I were playing Apex, we like how like in Apex like you're kind of loaded into like a mini lobby where you just kind of like see part of the map and you see that countdown. Yeah. On the PlayStation 4, like I would always load up like right when it was like a second or less, and it's like loading up before the timer is even starting on the Xbox. Like the Xbox, like even the Series S is actually pretty fast, like surprisingly.
Yeah.
For some of this stuff, like even like when we tested out Fallen Order, like the load times were significantly quicker than they were on the PlayStation 4.
And and to contest to that too as well, I know when you and Mildew were over, we all decided to, after we had our rounds of Godfall and all that good stuff, got to experience that, got to show you guys a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, what that looks like at the very beginning and everything like that. We went ahead and we four-manned Call of Duty, and PC was quick, the PS5 was very quick, and then you look on over, like I was already in the match doing the whole little like fighting before the actual game and stuff, and Gravity was still loading on my PS4.
Over here just like
and he's just like,
we done? We in the match yet? Oh, okay, now we're in. Okay.
Yeah, and he literally looked over and just like, okay, that is a difference. Like it was a huge increase, at least a full 20 seconds or more. I was loaded in, getting some kills and stuff. Yeah, so I was about to say, I'm very, very excited to see what more games are going to be taking advantage of that. I can't wait to try Miles Morales on there when I do get that. I can't wait to go ahead and play some more FIFA when I fully dive into that. Like it's going to be a great time. So
how has the fan been sounding?
I barely hear anything at all. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, sometimes I forget it's on.
The fans for these consoles are insane. Like at least like with the Series S, you have to put your ear like up to it to hear it.
That's the same for the PS5. There's a few points to where it might start like revving up a little bit if it's exerting more power, but then it doesn't last long at all. And I think that's because again the fan is being controlled via Wi-Fi. So I think that they're adjusting the fan levels to match whatever game or application you're running, which is
day. I can't play no more Top Gun soundtrack. No more Take My Breath
Away. And then lastly, so that was that. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. Snap, what was it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to skip it then because I can't remember what it is.
Well, I'll throw this in there.
Yeah.
As somebody who's been able to play both, I'm much more impressed with the PlayStation 5. And like that's kind of obvious, like especially since I got the budget console versus like this next generation gift from heaven that we received. Like but yeah, like I'm so much more impressed with the PlayStation 5's UI. The UI just seems so much cleaner, but it's still very detailed in what it can do. The Xbox it's very clean, it's very simplistic, but there's not a whole lot that it can do in terms of getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting to the specifics that the PlayStation can.
For me, for what I've seen of it, it looked a lot like you didn't have an Xbox X, did you?
I got the better looking one.
I mean, I had an Xbox,
and I will argue that.
Xbox One X.
Xbox One. I'm sorry, Xbox One.
Oh no, I didn't have that.
Okay, yeah. To me, it looks a lot like it. I just I'm sorry, I get confused on the name.
I mean, technically, it's still an X. It's just not a Series X. It's a 1X.
I mean,
don't do this.
Hey, I'm just saying that's what Microsoft did. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
You know what? Who made that decision? Who made that executive decision where they're just like, what are we going to call these things? I don't know. Just call it the Series X. Don't we already have a 1X? Shut up, you're fired. Series X, slapping it on everything. Wasn't it called like Project like Scorpio or something?
Or
what was it called? Well, the first one was Renegade.
Scarlet and
yeah. Scarlet was one. Scarlet was one of the project names. Renegade was another.
Why don't they just go with the project names? Like
Renegade.
Xbox Scarlet, Xbox Renegade? Yeah, I would so be... I want an Xbox Renegade. That's what I want.
Edgy 14-year-old was naming these. What do you want to name this, son? Just name it Renegade.
Renegade. Renegade Sir Awesome McPants.
Xbox Super Bowl. And then real quick, because there's one thing I do want to at least squeeze in here before we wrap it up. I mean, we still got some time, but just want to go ahead and get through these. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bug Snacks, Godfall, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Cold War. Haven't really heard too much off-site as far as Bug Snacks goes. And I think that one we're still waiting to hear. It's a free download right now, in case you guys did not know already. So if you have a PlayStation 5, you can download it for free as your PlayStation Plus game. Right now we have 3 games for November, but one of those November games, a.k.a. Bug Snacks, is going to last until, I think it's January 10th, which is ample amounts of time. And I think they did that mainly because of how the pre-orders are going. You know what I mean? Like some of these people... Yeah, I think some of these people are not going to get their pre-orders. Speaking of pre-orders, as I'm pulling this up, don't forget to go to Rep Sports, REPP, sports.com. Type in ALWT Game and get 15% off your Raise energy drinks. If you guys like energy drinks. Mine actually comes in tomorrow, so I'm very excited to have some Raise energy for that. But, right here, CBS News. CBS.
I just see.
Bam. It says... Two of the holidays,
quick little bit.
Yeah. 2 of the holidays' most wanted gifts sold out quickly, frustrating gamers and raising questions of the role of bots. And these are people that are scalpers that's setting them up, because right here, as PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X sell out for $500, eBay resellers are asking up to $32,000 for this. $32K for a console. They're trying to make some house payments. That's what they're trying to do. What you got for us, Nineball?
Okay, so I think it was me and you, Gravity, or I can't remember, or was it me and Mildery? What happened to the fire hydrant? You know, to press the 3 fire hydrant picture test or something like that.
The robot asking you if you're a robot?
Yeah, if you're a human test. What happened to that?
I mean,
Roblox even does it.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that they're finding ways around it still.
I think Best Buy or Walmart might have had that. I don't think it was Walmart. I think Best Buy may have had that. Did they? I don't remember. I just remember that pre-ordering my Series S was
They
very
need to do the
simple.
number test. Just put like random things and say write these numbers down and only hold down to one number.
Look at these squiggly letters and squiggly numbers. What are they? Are they a 6? Or is it a Q? That's up to you.
$32,000 for a gaming freaking console.
Don't do it. Don't buy it.
Yes.
Don't if we were discussing this a little bit ago. Don't contribute to that industry.
Yeah.
Like, don't contribute to that nonsense. Like when you actually buy one of those consoles, you're telling that person that they made the right decision. And I've said this before. I think these companies need to do, especially like this, the retailers, they need to do a better job with pre-orders. And I think it needs to be a queue system. Like, and I don't know if this would work or not, but like it should be that if you, like, as soon as you hit refresh and as soon as you're on that page, it takes count of who got there when, and then they say, okay, we only have 100 units to pre-order. You are the 101st, so you didn't make it. But we'll take your information down, and as soon as we have more in stock, you will be next on the list.
Right.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like that sounds like it would work. And I'm not an expert in that field. I don't know if that would actually work or not. But because again, if you're gonna flood sites with bots, then you're gonna have nothing but like 5 lists of bots.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that it would be the ultimate way to try to do it. Just so that way, if you're like me who tried to get it the first, like when Walmart had it at 3:00, trying to get it like right at the beginning of my shift, like when I'm like still a little not super busy, and I can try to get it. But then later on, I'm like, okay, I really have to work now, so I can't spend that time to try to get it because I have other things to do.
Right.
But if I actually get there at the time that I was supposed to, but it was just gone that fast, they can at least take down my information, contact me later, and maybe a month later when they have more in stock and they say, hey, congrats, we have more in here. Do you still want this? And you can just say, yeah, I still want that. And then they'll get everything set up.
How about like a generalization, kind of like you ever seen like how Amazon and them would do the date to delivery? Maybe like that, like maybe an expected time based on your queue of what day it may arrive or something. And let the kids know.
We'll see, man. But because that also,
you don't have to be there at the moment.
Yeah, but that also though, if you give a heads up, it still gives bots ample time to set it. I mean, scalpers ample time to set up their bots. That's the only downside. I agree with you, Mildewy. Say no to scalpers. That is 100% accurate, 100% correct. These scalpers suck. They suck.
You guys aren't fun.
Yeah, you guys aren't.
I don't want to play games with you.
Real fast before we get into the next segment here, other than Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is there and Bug Snacks, Godfall, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Cold War Warzone. Does any of that ring a bell for you guys? Does any of that throw any interest, or is your level the same as it was before?
Never been huge on Call of Duty, so I'm kind of... I heard a friend of mine, he bought one, and he said it's good, but that would have put Call of Duty. I like Warzone, though.
Mm.
And I heard that Call of Duty is another massive download.
Yes, because it also has Warzone, too.
Yeah, I heard it's massive. I
150 gigs,
like close to 200 gigs or something.
Well, no. Well, the first Warzone is about 120, and then it's big. And then for Call of Duty Cold War, that is 150 gigs.
Ew.
Yeah, so that's practically yeah. Kind of Funny Games was talking about it, and they're like, if you get Call of Duty, that is your PlayStation or your Xbox is not a PlayStation or Xbox. It is a Call of Duty system. That's what that is, because that's practically what that's.
I was gonna say, to be fair, most people who play Call of Duty, that's kind of all they play anyway.
True. Yeah, and yeah, and it looks really good. I'm not a Call of Duty type person either. I'm more Battlefield, especially since Nine Ball got me more hip to it back in our hospital days. Definitely like Battlefield a lot more. But it's been a while since we had a last really good, solid Battlefield. And now that Call of Duty's switching it up a little bit more to what I wanted it to do in the first place a while back, it is piquing my interest more than it has before. Still not enough for me to drop money on it this instant, but more towards the point where it's just like, okay, you're not just after those microtransactions as much anymore, Activision, you know? So I don't know. I appreciate what Warzone is, and I appreciate what methods that they're going back to as far as actually implementing a story again, because they took that away. That was the last straw for me when they took away the story. Yeah, when they took away the story, I was just like, what? Seriously? I mean, I know a lot of gamers out there just like, well, who plays Call of Duty for the story? You know what I mean? Like you gotta.
You know what? I got so much crap for that back in the day. Like I would try to play the story, and all my friends at the time were like, "What are you doing campaign for?" Like everyone just does like single player. Which, by the way, Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2, like left a lasting impression of first-person shooters on me, which was that it was just not a good experience. Like it's gotten better over time, but like when you're thrown into a new genre, like right off the bat, and you're like, oh cool, like all my friends are playing this, let me play this. Oh, you lose. Oh, here, let me just play and let me just jump in again, and you're
just need to get better.
Abs tell me to get good. See, this is the motivation I need. Sometimes you just need someone to tell you to get good.
Yeah.
You know what? She's so much better at first-person shooters than me. It is nuts. She's just so much better. Like she'll like look at my setup and just be like, "What are you doing? Like, have your sensitivity here. Do this, do this, do this." I'm like, "Oh,
I'm not that bossy."
You're not bossy. You're very helpful.
What are your thoughts about Cold War there?
It looks pretty. It looks very pretty. The campaign looks very interesting. I honestly haven't played a campaign since Black Ops 1.
Oh wow.
That was the last time I played any sort of Call of Duty campaign. And at least for me, the campaigns were not very memorable. Like I remember a few parts here and there, but ultimately the campaigns have not been very memorable. And the only thing that I actually remember from Call of Duty is just the multiplayer. So for them to actually come out with this campaign and really emphasize the campaign and make it look very, enticing and very interesting, like that, like I wouldn't mind giving it a try. Like, will I? Maybe if I have the spare money and the spare time, maybe. But I'm more of a Ghost of Tsushima. I'm more of a Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm more of a.
Oh, I love that game.
I'm more of a big open world kind of guy. Like I don't like being told what to do.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say the ones for me, definitely on the verge again. Well, the ones I'm currently playing, which you guys already know, and you guys already heard me say this, Godfall. I'm liking that. I'm liking the way that it goes. It's nothing impressive to the point to where it's going to be game of the year. It's nothing that's too like. This isn't what Godfall. I mean, this is not what God of War has done or anything like that. It definitely feels like a slasher type. I would even argue that it may not even really be truly worth the $60-$70 it is. But what's making me still, I am curious, genuinely curious to see how the story's going to pan out. I do want to see what type of armors and weapons I can get. I also want to see what that multiplayer is going to look like. The thing that's odd for me is that it feels like it should be a single player game. Which I'm normally on the opposite. I'd rather have stuff, if I can go through a campaign with my buddies. I mean, me, TBF Abyss, and Mildewy Carrot went through Fuse on PS3. We had a good time with that. If I can have something like that on a slasher looter, I would love that, and that's what Godfall is. But I'm still got to wait till everyone gets their consoles so we can go ahead and do that together, or play with a bunch of randos, which I honestly don't like doing anyway.
Well, tell those scalpers to knock it off.
I know, right? But yeah, but I was about to say I still am kind of curious to see what that's going to look like, because I'm having fun with Godfall. I'm definitely having fun with Godfall, but I do want to see what the potential lies in the future. Yeah, I've heard great things about Sackboy's Big Adventures. Of course, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Want to see what that holds. Apparently, that's a short-ish type game. You can beat it really quickly, but it's a good time. And you can feel the swinging, I guess, in the DualSense controller. You can actually feel him swinging. That's the reports that's been coming in. On over to number 5, Video Game Awards. December 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm very excited about that, and actually, I wanted to kind of do a little something right here with that. So, I looked it up, and there are over 20 categories that people can win video game awards in, or some sort of best awards or something like that. If you guys have to have a moment to pull up a Google on the side or anything like that to see what games came out this year, I'm going
Put up a Google.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm going to go ahead and go for the first content. Which is the number one, which you normally hear. What do you guys think is going to be Game of the Year for 2020?
Ghost of Tsushima.
You say Ghost of Tsushima?
It's gotta be. At least it's my pick. It's absolutely my pick.
Well, that's actually that. So give me two answers, because that was actually one of the things that's on the dock. What is your Game of the Year? And so Ghost of Tsushima is your Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
And then what do you think for the 2020 releases, what do you think the Game of the Year is going to be? For the general public as a prediction.
Honestly, I feel like they'll pick something next gen. I think they're going to pick something from the PlayStation 5. Because Xbox doesn't really have anything going for them right now. I would probably say it's got to be something that came out late PlayStation 4, or it's one of these next PlayStation 5 games. Like, honestly, it might end up being Miles Morales.
I honestly don't think so.
I think it might be.
I have a feeling you're onto something with Ghost of Tsushima, to be honest with you. I really do think so.
Honestly, I think Ghost of Tsushima would probably be better as a game. Because I'm still super excited for Miles Morales, but there's just something about Ghost that just the way the camera angles are shot, the ambiance that they give, the music that they have, the graphics are already gorgeous, even for PlayStation 4 standards. It is just an overall cinematic package. It is an experience, and I would hope that it gets Game of the Year, so that way, I get to pat myself on the back, making myself say, yeah, it is a good game, isn't it? But, because then they'll probably have Game of the Year edition.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But, like, I'm thinking it might be something next gen, to be honest. Like, I feel like they'll probably pick something next gen just to kind of push people to that next gen, to get them excited for it, to be like, hey, look, this game on the new console is Game of the Year, so go to that console. Like, I have a feeling they might do that, but we'll have to see. Okay. I'm skeptical.
What about you there, Nineball?
Game of the Year?
Yeah.
It's got to be Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't even played it, but from what I'm hearing,
he's like, I haven't played it, but it's Ghost of the Year already.
What I'm hearing, it sounds incredible. I've heard a lot of good things about a lot of people. I can't really say I played that much for me personally. I can't really say I played it that much.
Any games that came out this year for you?
None that I can really think of that really grabbed my attention. I mean, I played certain games, but I've been mainly cleaning up my oh god, I ain't gonna tell you, I got like a ridiculous amount of games, and I decided to start going through them and burning them through this year. But for me, it's gonna be the Ghost, or the other one has to be Final Fantasy VII. That's the other one that would maybe be the other one. I can't think of any strong Xbox titles that would take the cake. I mean, I have couple of my favorite games of all time on Xbox, but these wouldn't be game of the year.
Mm.
I think they're good in their own rights, but with the way Ghost has been going and Final Fantasy, the only other game, since you brought up next gen, would have to be, it couldn't be, because Valhalla just came out.
Yeah,
That
I
wouldn't
don't think
be-
that's going to be game of the year. I don't
No,
think that's-
Yeah,
I'm
probably not.
definitely going for Ghost. Should take it, no problem. And it's been a pretty strong title. It's fast selling, and you know how I feel about buying games. Personally, I'm more jaded towards buying games. I guess I got burnt too many times in my life. Getting, games that I got hyped for, and then the total disappointments.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm actually looking forward to getting. I'm probably pick it up here shortly. Ghost of Tsushima, especially since I'm seeing it on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be on sale. There's Black Friday coming up. It probably will be.
Yeah, almost guarantee it will be on sale. It's been out since June.
And I'll pick it up around then.
Yeah. I loved your guys' answers, and I love you guys for that. I unfortunately don't think it's going to be either one of those.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm annoyed by my answer, but I have a strong suspicion that's going to end up being Fall Guy Ultimate Knockout.
Oh.
You know, I was
Just the,
Oh yeah, I forgot
just
about
the
that. Among Us.
yeah.
just just the disappointment. Well, Among Us was 2018. Like, can they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they can
Yeah.
technically do it because it jumped up. I mean,
Oh,
because
yeah.
now Game of the Year, like you said, 2018. If they consider it as a relaunch, then they can do that. The only other category that can kind of go in is Best Indie Game, which we're going to talk about in a minute, or it can go inside Best Ongoing Game. So those are the only two. Look at this big list, which we're not going to go every single. I'll tell you every single one of these lists, but we're not going to have time to be able to go through each one. But the first option category, Game of the Year, then Best Ongoing Game, then Best Game Direction, then Best Narrative, then Best Art Direction, then Best Score / Music, Best Audio / Design, Best Performance, Games for Impact, Best Indie Game, Best Mobile Game, Best VR / AR Game, Best Action Game, Best Action Adventure Game, Best RPG, Best Fighting, Best Family Game, Best Strategy Game, Best Sports / Racing Game, Best Multiplayer Game, Best Community Support, and Best Esports Game. So those are all the categories that was from last year's, which I'm assuming just going to carry on over to 2020. If there's one thing that's missing here, it's probably going to be some sort of award for accessibility, because a lot of people were freaking out of how well The Last of Us Part 2 was able to cater to anybody, no matter if you were blind, whether you're handicapped, they had accessibilities up the wazoo, and it wasn't like an added feature. They had it at launch in consideration of these gamers. All right. So, but yeah. So, Game of the Year, I would love for it to be Ghost of Tsushima. I would love for it to be Final Fantasy VII Remake. As an individual consumer, those are my Game of the Years. But as a general public, I'm thinking of the broad spectrum of everything. Because, again, if you're thinking about that, not every parent is wanting to have their kids play Ghost of Tsushima, because it's kind of dark. You know, not every person is in that niche. So what is going to be overall Game of the Year? Because I think a few years back it was Fortnite. You know, so I have a feeling that it's going to be. I have a feeling. I'm just saying that I think that was 2018 was Fortnite. If not, it was God of War. But it was one of those time periods where it really, really picked up and was Game of the Year. And I was just like, really, over this, and this. But again, that's my thinking of the quality of games that I'm getting. I think Game of the Year might be Fall Guy Ultimate Knockout, unfortunately.
I mean,
I don't think it's gonna be that. Fall Guys feels like a party game than anything.
in this
You're
world,
right.
we never know.
Yeah.
It really could happen, but I have that feeling. I have that skepticism where I'm just like, it was an okay game. It was it definitely was fun, especially when you played with other people. But overall, and I think that just comes down to your preference in what kind of games you play.
Mm-hmm.
So I do see where you're coming from. Where like if you boil it down to what was just the the best this year out of all of them, like are they basing that off of reviews? Are they basing that off of sales? Are they like what exactly are they basing it off of?
I think it's going to be a mixture of it all, but I also like, even with that aside, the host for the gaming awards that's going to be happening is Jeff Keighley, and for his last event, he was talking up Fall Guys Ultimate 2 almost the entire show. So I was about to say, if you have the host,
No Man's Sky.
I don't think it's going to be No Man's Sky.
I don't think so.
Plus, that came out last year too, didn't it? Or 2 years ago?
They came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
But they've been coming out with frequent updates.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think the best ongoing game is still going to be Fortnite.
No.
Maybe. I honestly
haven't
think
heard
so.
anything from Fortnite.
Well, the reason why I say that is because they have the deal. They have the deal where you had the battle pass for the Marvel Avengers, which that was really good for them. Then they also have what's going on right now or coming up soon, to where if you spend V-Bucks, you actually can get free Disney Plus. I think it's for like 3 months or something like that. They're making deals to be relevant, and I have a feeling that that's what's going on there. Is that they keep on getting people in that community. They promoted it on the next gen consoles. That's going to be on the next gen consoles. I have a feeling that's going to be the best ongoing game is going to unfortunately be Fortnite or GTA 5. Unfortunately, because again, to me, like these are. Fortnite, when it first came out, I was in there with you guys, actually. I was in there quite often, but I fell off pretty quickly. After like the only time I was only jumping on with you guys is because I was jumping on with you guys. As a solo, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather go play Ghost of Tsushima. I'd rather go play all these other types of games. Horizon, God of War, getting through these. I think best ongoing game is going to go to Fortnite. I think Fall Guy Ultimate Knockout's going to be game of the year. I think best ongoing game is going to be Fortnite or GTA 5. What do you guys? What's your guys' thoughts of the best ongoing game? And I'll send you. By the way, off stream, I'll send you guys this list, and I want you guys to fill it out whenever you have a moment to, and then send it to me. Well, let's say have it back to me by the 1st of December. So that's 2 weeks from now.
What's the grading curve on this?
What we're gonna do? So here's the catch. Here's the catch. Whoever has the most answers correct, I will buy your next console game.
Oh, look at that! Looking. Let's see, Mildewy Carrot jumping in there.
Yep. And that, hey, I'm down for that on the chat too. If anyone wants to partake in this, just let me know. I'll go ahead and send you this list as far as, again, the categories go. There's quite a bit of them, but whoever has the most, I will buy your next console game. And that
the best ongoing game. You know what? I don't know if this fits in there. I might actually give it to Apex over Fortnite.
I hope it is Apex.
While Fortnite has that deal with Disney, with Marvel, I feel like at this point they're kind of branching out and bringing other stuff into their game to make their game stand out more. And I see Apex building from within and expanding outward, where it feels like to me Fortnite has just kind of hit this stale point. It's still got a huge following. It's still a huge esport, but at least for me, like it just feels stale. Like it just feels like they're not really doing anything new with it. Whereas Apex just brought out a huge new map. They regularly come out with new legends that you can play as. Horizon is apparently very broken, from what I've heard in my household.
Yep.
They just brought in like a new vehicle, and it's just the combinations that you can have on your team to have their ultimates and their regular abilities just kind of mesh together to create a cohesive team. I think that's more interesting than just being the same 4 people who can do the same 4 things like just building forts. Like eventually, to me, it gets boring to watch.
Yeah. I agree with you. I do see, and just real quick, I was about to say the biggest backlash that Respawn has been getting is that it's taken them too long to come out with content. Now, granted, when they come out with the season, when they come out with the season,
I think it's decent.
well, when they come out with the season, they have a new map. They're on map number 3. They have new character every single season, and they do have limited time limited exclusivity for certain events and stuff. That was the complaint. When they come out, they're great, but one of the biggest issues with that is since they're not crunching and since they refuse to crunch, that's kind of hindering them from coming out with content quickly. And that's
I appreciate that though.
I did too.
I might just be that old man in the group that just, you know what? I'm probably the youngest in the group, and I just act like the oldest man. Just, well, I like it that they're not crunching their team. I like that they're not overworking their team. But their team's also like pretty active, like in the community of Apex. Like you see them, like in I think subreddits. You see them on Twitter, like answering people's questions, like live out there. Because I see so many like articles talking about how like Apex developers like respond. Like there was just an article the other day that was talking about how Mirage will never be a top tier character. And it was because of a comment that one of the developers made saying that Mirage isn't supposed to be a top tier character. And it's like, I think the engagement there between the developers and the community is actually very healthy. And I like that. At the very least, I appreciate Apex's community. I'm not a huge first-person shooter person. I'm probably not going to play very often, but to me, it seems it's getting a little bit more interesting.
Mildewy Carrot,
I'd put it up there.
Mildewy Carrot comments in saying, "You making fun of your elders that Yahooligan gravity." So.
Well, I'll tell you what. Back in my day.
What were you saying there, Nine Ball?
For me, I might have to go. I might have to go with the Fortnite. I've played enough. I've played Fortnite recently with some of the my nieces and them were over, so we ended up playing Fortnite. And while a lot of it's changed, it's pretty much the same. I mean, yeah, they added X-Men to where you have like Wolverine wandering around in the forest, and you got to get his powers and stuff. You got go to Doom's mansion. There's secret places. It may take it. Another game that's been sneaking is actually a game I've been playing a lot, which is Warframe. It may not, but I think it has a shot now.
Yeah, I don't think it does, to be honest with you.
Warframe's been sneaking up there in people.
It's been around for a while. It's been around since before PS4 was on PC, and it has. Yeah. And Warframe is one of those games that continuously improves for the better.
And people are very active with the community.
Yeah, and I think that the screenshot that you see between Warframe on PS4 and PS5 is night and day, and it brings them even more on the map. And like you said, they're very engaged with the community. I still don't think it has enough of a following to take the most ongoing.
I want it to be though. This is my world, okay? If
definitely. Yeah.
And this was my award. I would probably, if it said Fortnite, just throw that out.
He's like, just throw it.
Go off script here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just picturing you just sitting there up there with the envelope, just, and all right, the winner is.
Yep.
That's not it.
He's just gonna Taylor Swift him, be like, "All right, I'm gonna let you finish in a minute, but Warframe, you got the best." No, I'm just kidding. I would like. I wouldn't mind Warframe being the best ongoing game. I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it will be though.
I know it probably will go to Fortnite though, because whenever you play, Fortnite has a massive. The amount of money they bank off that is in the billions.
Yeah,
constantly.
And they're even finding new ways. Yeah, and they're finding new ways to get Fortnite on other platforms. And I think they just found a loophole to have it on Apple right now, which that's the battle that they've been fighting for a while. But yeah,
your fridge.
Yeah, I was just saying, like they're finding ways around it.
Why not?
To get Fortnite on every single platform, pretty much, and I think that's one of the core reasons why. Especially even if Fortnite did nothing this year, that was one of the things is that came up was Apple versus Fortnite, and like I said, still going on. But that talk alone, I think, will still raise questions as far as like, oh, Fortnite's still going on, oh, community's still playing and stuff like that. I think with that fan base and with that following, it's gonna take first place again for.
And they're so connected. Well, it's so connected with kids nowadays.
Exactly. I mean,
Like,
it's
when I
always
talk
been.
to, like I said, my nieces and them,
Mm-hmm.
they all can tell you about Fortnite.
Yeah.
Default skin. The only default skins, all that, because the only other one I think of, which I really hate to say, Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know,
They
I was
had
gonna say
little
Roblox
dogs
over the
on
past
there.
year has been gaining more traction. Like
They-
it just kind of like it's kind of like Minecraft, like just not
Mm-hmm.
like you can actually do a lot more. I've seen people be very social with it.
Yeah, like I said, they just had little Nas do like a live performance on Roblox. It's gaining a huge amount of traction. It's been on the go lately, so that would be probably probably Fortnite or Roblox. I'm gonna have to make a choice though.
Heard
I'm
that.
gonna have to choose Roblox because they keep giving. You don't want to keep giving the same thing, the same award over and over and over and over again.
I don't know, man. I don't
They're
think.
gonna have to go with a different game.
I don't think the community cares about that. I think if as long as their favorite game wins, which unfortunately I think Fortnite has a bigger following. I think as long as they win, that's all that's going to matter for them.
Yeah, just say it back. Just say the just say the backpack kid and watch the kids go.
They might as well just have one just called the Fortnite Award. They don't need a award anymore, like a category. The last,
Like-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's just like, all right, and here is our Fortnite award, just our yearly award that we give Fortnite just for being Fortnite. Here you go, Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
The only other game I can think of, and this also can kind of rewinding just a little bit, a game that could be also game of the year could be Animal Crossing, unfortunately.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately,
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
fun game, sir.
Yeah.
I
Until
grew up on that
I
game.
ran out of stuff to do.
I think that might be a possibility for game of the year too as well.
Unfortunately, like it was
Yeah.
an accident or
It
something.
It's
was.
just like,
It was.
what are you? Okay, you know what? I will give you that. I don't think it would be as big as it is had the pandemic not hit.
And that's
it
what I
still
think
would've
it
been-
is.
It still would have been big.
100%.
Because I was looking forward to this game like way before they even announced that they were launching it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I loved Animal Crossing on the. Oh, I didn't even get a chance to play it on the GameCube
We had the GameCube. It was
or the
awesome.
Wii. It was just the DS and the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fun game. It was a very fun game, and I was really looking forward to when they were going to actually have it out for the Switch. I just hit a wall with it. I just hit a wall where I was like, ugh. Like the shop is giving me the same 3 items like every single day. Like I can't buy anything different. Like I have one room that's like covered, like all of the walls are just covered in records because I refuse to put them in the in the record player. I'm just gonna buy a new record, just throw it on the wall.
Mm-hmm. I got one more for you guys, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the show here for All Things Gaming because we're creeping up on 7:30. Best score / music. What do you guys think is the game this year that has the best score / music?
Ooh, that one I'm gonna have to think about.
I have one.
Ghost of Tsushima.
No, even though I like their music, I don't think it's going to be Ghost.
I would have to probably say Final Fantasy VII.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I think it's
was gonna
Final Fantasy
say,
VII Remake.
Like,
I love Final Fantasy scores. They have some of the best scores.
Mm-hmm.
No
Like-
matter what, even certain songs, even on 13, I thought was pretty good.
The thing though that it's not even so much, at least for Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's not even so much that they have good melody and good music, but it's how they use it in the remake. They implement it at the most opportune times that it just flows and it feels part of the game. You know what I mean? It feels like when a battle sequence happens, of course, it's more the upbeat and all that good stuff, but it segues so perfectly. It's just like it makes sense. And yeah, and there's even a few of those little remakes that they did from the original ones too. It's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. They definitely did a great job with the music there. And Final Fantasy has always done great with music. I think the best Final Fantasy music that I personally adore is 10. 10 was the best.
Oh my god, I got 10's entire soundtrack, so it'd be a guess for me.
Yeah, 10 is the best video game.
And I love the soundtrack.
Yep, Xanarkin, the song, the hymns. Whenever they're at the temple and praying,
Cluster of Trials.
Yes. There's so many. Look at us just name this off like a Drake album. I'm just saying in general, they do such a great job with music. I don't know what it is. They just put so much effort and so much care and so much love inside their music, and that's what Final Fantasy is known for. It's known for its beauty, it's known for its difficulty, and it's known for its music and its storytelling. Those are the elements that makes a really good Final Fantasy, and they've had that formula for years. There's been a few, I guess you could say, moments where it's just like kind of iffy, depending on like they took a risk with 12. They took a risk with 12. They took a risk with 13, and then they took a risk-ish with 15. But 15, I enjoyed 15. Other people didn't. But again, my issue with 15, the only issue I had with 15 was the length of the main base game. That was my only issue. Other than that, I loved 15. But yeah, 7 does not have that issue. 7 has some great music. 7 has some great gameplay. 7 has some great elements to it. 7 makes you relive those 1997 moments in 2020. And it doesn't feel aged. It's such a beautiful thing. So if I had to say best score / music for 2020, I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I have a feeling that majority would actually agree with me on that too. I think that might pop up. Well, it may not pop up. It might show up as best RPG, which is another category on here. It might pop up as that, but if they did music, I wouldn't be surprised. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
Square Enix does not hold back when they do any sort of musical score. Like, most of their games are very on point with their orchestras that they bring in. It's very powerful music that they have. So like it to me would have to be something from Square Enix. I would say maybe something for Ghost of Tsushima. The music is very diverse, it's very wide, it's very Japanese inspired. Mm-hmm. So it's like old school Japanese. So it's got a huge kind of variety going on there. So I would say like they might have a shot, but to me, like, Square Enix, especially with Final Fantasy, usually just knocks it out of the park. Like my expectations for Final Fantasy music is like pretty up here.
Yeah. I agree.
I usually like when I got certain Final Fantasies, I generally will just try to buy the soundtrack with it. I think the soundtrack's actually.
I got the soundtrack for 7 when I pre-ordered the deluxe version, which I never get the most expensive version or the second most expensive. I always just get the base game. Final Fantasy, I was prepared to go ahead and get that Cloud on the motorcycle figurine. Like, I was ready for that. And it sold out in seconds. I couldn't even get it. And that's like $200. I couldn't even get it. But
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I got everything else, but I wanted that figurine. So
I think that says something about the game, that they pride themselves on their soundtrack so much that they even offer that to you.
Right.
There aren't too many games that actually will be like, oh, here's the game and here's the soundtrack, because a lot of people are just like, why do I want to listen to the soundtrack?
Yeah.
But if you're actually including the soundtrack, that's you like putting your own stamp of approval on it and saying, yes, the music in this is killer, it is amazing, you will like to listen to this regardless of whether or not you're playing the game.
Yep. Most definitely. Great. Yep. Go ahead. It's right here. Dated. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead there, 9Ball. What do you think is going to be just the score?
I already said it. I said it's gonna be Final Fantasy. I mean,
Oh yeah. I just agreed with you. My bad. I thought that was my. I thought that was my answer. I just agreed with you. That was it. Yeah.
I can't really argue. I mean, I'm a huge fan. It's probably one of my favorite soundtracks to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I personally love listening to certain video game soundtracks, and trust me, I got several. I've got Silent Hill soundtracks. I've got like some of I recently got that, like I said, Silent Hills, Dark Souls, and like I said, I think Final Fantasy is one of the best. Final Fantasy X, 7. I even liked 8. I can't really remember. I didn't get 9 yet, and I have some of the older ones because they have like a whole melodies of Final Fantasies, where they have like real long ones and have like performances and piano instrumentals and stuff of them.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna take it.
So we got 2 Final Fantasy VII remakes and a Ghost of Tsushima. Is that what I'm hearing? All right. Well, yeah, I went ahead and sent you guys the questionnaire as far as, well, not the questionnaire, but I sent you guys the categories. So again,
doing homework.
And for anyone that's currently watching or listening through Anchor, Google Play, Spotify, anything like that, thank you very much again for tuning in. If you guys want to partake in this, the deal goes out for you guys too. Whoever gets the most correct, you gotta make sure you reach out to me. Which you can just reach out to my PSN, Malachi36, or you can email us at leastwetry.gaming@gmail.com. Ask for the list. I'll send you the list, and you have until Tuesday, December 1st, to send the list back to us. That's the only way you can get in, is if you send a list to us by Tuesday, and we'll say by the next ALWT Things Gaming episode, which is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So as long as you have it in by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, December 1st, you will be qualified to enter inside this little contest we're doing, which is going to be Thursday, December 10th, live at the Video Game Awards that they're going to have with Jeff Keighley and other hosts as well. So whoever has the most correct, I will go ahead and personally buy your next console game. So yeah.
What do you have to lose?
So there you go, Mildew. I know you've been wanting Cyberpunk 2077 for a while. You already have it pre-ordered, but this will cover that cost. Man, if you want to try to get in. So it's inside the categories are inside our Discord channel, so you guys can go and check that out. And that's going to do it here for us for ALWT Things Gaming, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Please be sure to check out our social media platforms. Again, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, the whole 9. Mildewy Carrot comes and so yeah, YouTube. We're about to go and jump off here, and we are actually going to jump on some Call of Duty on YouTube. If you guys want to check that out, it's going to be me, Gravity Mark, Absolute 315, and possibly it's the 9Ball.
Okay, I don't think mine's is updated.
All right, well, we will see. We will see. But yeah, more gaming news that's going to be coming up. Again, this is coming Thursday. It's going to be Smite Night. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be playing on the PS5, trying that out a little bit more. Tomorrow I'm going to try out some Godfall. Where I'm going to jump on the PS5. Keep wanting to say PS4. And then, of course, free streams over the weekend and more to come. So until next time, guys, love you guys. And Control Alt
Complete.
Bars. See you guys.